why did you decide to risk it? Because you know that there is such a risk behind this.
I was sleep deprived. One video in Russia skyrocketed 1.7 million views. That was crazy.
On my grind all day, gonna make $1 million someday. You know I'm
Hi everyone, welcome to DOERSTAK podcast. Today I'm joining with one of my best friends. His name is Fuad Aliyev. Fuad is an entrepreneur, long-term businessman, also a very, very successful YouTuber now. Welcome, Fuad.
Welcome. Thank you, Ruslan. Thank you for it.
Perfect. Fuad, even though I gave out like a really, really quick intro about yourself, but maybe give me a quick macro intro and we'll kick in from there.
All right, yeah. So my name is Fuad Aliyev. I'm also from Azerbaijan as Ruslan. And I'm an entrepreneur, and so this is something that I think that I'm born for, and I'm a YouTuber as well. I have an English channel as well, but in English it's very new, so it doesn't have that many subscribers. But I have channels in Azerbaijan, Russia, and Turkey, and they have more than 700,000 subscribers at the moment. And it's also in business and personal development and this kind of topics. And yeah, pretty much it. And you probably know about me
Perfect.
More like during the interview.
Exactly. And that's the exact thing that I want to focus on for, because I know that even though you've done so many videos, so many stories, like discovering the books, doing summaries, storytelling, etc., but you never really told your story as much. So I thought like that's a great opportunity to discover your story. And I know you, so that's why I straight away have a background of Fuad. And I know that you started your first business back in Azerbaijan, home country. And I know that you started specific food and beverage business there, right? You were studying at the time as well. I just wanted to ask you, how was it? How did you find out that you're actually an entrepreneur and you're a businessman and you're able to do it? And what obstacles did you face in Azerbaijan? Obviously, the culture is very different in there, right? So tell me a little bit about that.
All right. Yeah, first of all, let me tell you that I was going to be a lawyer before, and that's why and I studied law, my bachelor's degree, and it was just the first year of my degree. I already realized that it's not something that I really wanted to pursue. And so it all began when I was in the UK. I was in the UK for English language course. I wasn't speaking English, so I learned it later on. Yeah, and so I remember there was just few days left in the UK, and I was about to go back to my country. But
you were studying English you were specifically studying English.
Yeah, it was English language school. Yes.
But you also studied English in San Francisco.
It was after. It wasn't it was like a mixture of English and something else as
well.
To
speed it up.
English, yes, true. Yeah. So basically, I had just a few days left. I don't remember how many days, and also I had specific budget for those days already because I spent all the money and I just had like £100 left, and I just thought that okay, so if I spend, I don't remember, like £20 or £30 every day, so it will be enough. And I don't need to ask for money from my family, etc. And so once I discovered that £40 of my money is missing. It was actually robbed. I don't just want to go deep for how it robbed in that time. And I just had like £60 left in my pocket. So there was two options. Either I should have stayed hungry one day or I should have told my parents that I lost my money. So they sent to me, but I didn't want to tell them actually because they would think that I'm irresponsible or something, and that's why I didn't tell. And so I just had to find some way out, like solution for that. And that time I saw that at school there was an announcement saying that this night some club has a party, and the price, the entrance fee for the students of that school is £5. Okay, so because of that, I thought that okay, if it's £5 for the students of this school, that means it's gonna be higher, definitely higher at the door. So that's why I thought. I mean, even if I spend all my money buying the tickets, and if I realize after that it's not higher price at the door, so I would at least sell it at the same price, like for £5. Yeah, that's why.
So you were thinking to make a small little business to.
Yeah, actually, I wasn't
raise
looking
your
at
cash
this.
flow.
Yeah, exactly.
The existing cash flow.
I wasn't looking at this as a business, of course. Like I just.
You're just trying to think the way to make a little bit more money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And that's why I just bought 12 tickets that time, spending all my £60 to that, and went to the club at night and saw that the entrance fee was actually £15. That at the door.
And you bought it for £5.
Yeah, I bought it for £5. That's good. Okay. Yeah, and I just stayed there, and when people were coming, I said, look, I'm selling the ticket for £10. And they weren't, they wouldn't trust me that time, and they would get the ticket and go inside and come back and pay.
And then realize that's actually the guy saying whatever guy saying is true, right?
Yeah, exactly, and exactly. So basically I sold all the tickets and all the 12 tickets, and I actually made £60 more, which was more than what I lost, like more than £40. And I didn't know that it's illegal that time. And later on I realized. But like
it really is legal though, is it?
I think it's
because, like I say, if you go to the concert here in 3G Arena, where we are in Dublin now, you'd always see like before the concert, maybe like last time I've been to the concert was 2 years ago, and I've seen like people all the time selling tickets. Well, I never knew whether those are fake ones or not. So like I didn't know whether maybe that's you know what, maybe you're right, maybe that's illegal, because officially tickets are being sold on Ticketmaster and on the entrance, so, and no one tells you, go find a random guy outside who's selling you a ticket. You potentially can get it from them as well.
Yeah, to be honest, Ruslan, I don't know exactly if it's illegal in here or in the UK or not, because I just knew it. Like I was telling this story to someone in the US, and he told me that actually just don't tell it this to when you like apply for university or something. Don't write it to your motivational letter or something, because it's illegal.
Gotcha.
I just know from there. I mean, this was like turning point for me. Like I actually liked it, you know. Like it was kind of easy money. I mean, it wasn't like that easy, of course, but it's an really
indication where it gave you like this is an action of business, exactly.
Action of business is possible.
And you back then you probably didn't even know that there's a term like an entrepreneur, that can be something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, I knew, of course, the term, like in my language, of course, but I mean, I wasn't thinking of being an entrepreneur. But from that point, point of my life, I started already like thinking very differently. Like when I went back to my country, and there also like it's like my brain always changed, mindset always changing, and when I was, for example, looking at something in the street, I was already thinking about how can I make business with this. So mindset was changing, and then like it came to the point that I thought of starting like real business, and it wasn't actually the fast food business. The first one wasn't the fast food business which you told. It was something different, and it failed. And like the fast food one was the successful one among the others, and until the fast food business I failed about four times.
4 times.
Yeah.
Wow. And
they were like very quick failures. I mean, starting and
so it's not like you wasted like years or something like that.
I mean, in total, yes, it was a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And and when you were starting your actual business, what type of specific failures you actually overcame that you felt like this is something that I have to overcome in order to start this business?
It was, I mean, Ruslan, like it's very different. It was very different depending on the business.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say it was something that like that would apply to all businesses. I mean, it was very specific. I mean, these were very specific reasons that I gave up continuing those businesses.
So you tried something, but you realized that this is there's no chance it's going to work at all, right?
Maybe it was very quick to give up. I will
Oh,
never
you
know
know.
that,
Okay.
But that time, my psychology, my mindset was that okay, so it's enough. It doesn't work, and I need to go to something else and do something else.
But fair play. But when you started the food and beverage business, how did you know that okay, this is going to go great? I will better stick to this.
Okay, so I actually never knew that it would go well. To be honest, I mean, when you start a business, you believe you think okay, it's gonna go well and it's gonna succeed, blah blah. And you're very positive.
Yeah.
Most time you're very optimistic, but I mean, actually 99% of the times, so you don't see what you were expecting. I mean that's why. So you just need to overcome the obstacles, as you said, and then so if you continue overcoming the obstacles and solving the problems, and then you realize okay, so it's already working. In the fast food business was the same as well. I wouldn't say okay. I mean, I was trusting it and I was saying okay, so it would really go well because it was very new in my city.
And what type of fast food business was it?
It was okay. So there is a fish sandwich called balık ekmek in Turkey, and it was it's only sold in Turkey, and it didn't exist in my country at that time. I just went to Turkey and ate that and really liked and said okay, so I need to go back and do the same.
Recreate the same in Azerbaijan and the home country.
Yeah, exactly. And I came back and created with two other guys together.
Interesting, but you remember, like you told me the story, right? That in Azerbaijan, I don't know whether it's culturally or what, people in Azerbaijan they don't eat fish during the summertime, right?
This is a different story. Okay, yeah. So there is a I don't know what you call it in English. I don't know.
Tell me in Azerbaijani and I'll say it if I'll know.
Never
doesn't matter.
So there is a belief, common belief in Azerbaijan saying when it's summer you don't need to eat fish because it might be poisonous. So this is a belief in Azerbaijan, but it's not in Azerbaijan only. I think in Russia it's the same.
Okay.
First
time Fuad, you told me about this. I was not aware that eating fish is a potential. Like there is a belief in some countries that it's a belief that's a poisonous.
Actually, this is not. I mean, something fake. I mean, normally, like if you're eating a fresh fish. I mean, when you catch the fish, if it stays under sunlight for 3 hours or more, it gets poisonous.
Okay.
And because when it's summer, I mean it's sunny, so it has the risk that it stayed more than 3 hours under the sun. Okay. But we weren't using the fresh fish; we use frozen ones, which has nothing to do with that. Okay. But people, of course, wouldn't.
But it was risky, right, for you to start your business, and you started during the summertime specifically.
We started in summertime. That was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy.
But how did you decided to be stubborn and do it anyways? Like, how did you decide to risk it? And why did you decide to risk it? Because you know that there is such a risk behind this.
It's funny, but Rozan, I wouldn't think that it would be a huge problem, to be honest, at that time. Okay. And when I started the business, I saw that okay, so it actually affects the business a lot during the summer.
You mean like people not buying fish and not?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't thinking that. I mean, so many people would think this way, and I mean, I didn't see that. I wouldn't see that as a problem that time. Like, after I started, I saw this as a problem.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Yeah, I mean, before.
So you never thought that, even though that's the case, but because the fast food and the restaurant, people not going to think that way.
Yeah, because the places we opened, the streets we opened, the restaurant were actually very, very populated and very busy streets. Okay, that's why I was thinking. Okay, I mean, my basic calculations were like I was staying in the street and calculating each person passing by and saying, okay, in 1 hour this amount of people passed and blah blah, and if this percentage of this amount will come and buy something, and this like basic calculations were my kind of business plan, you know what I mean? And that's why I calculate and say, okay, so I would, I mean, if even if like very small number of very few people buy from like just one sandwich, and so the business would survive.
Okay.
That's why Yeah, I mean, Ruslan, today, I mean, this time, okay, so I already like did so many projects and did so many different things, failed so many times already and succeeded as well. And now, if you ask me this question now, if I was gonna start a business now, I would think about this very big problem and about like big risk. I wouldn't be that stubborn that I was in that time. Maybe I was like very young that time. Where
exactly,
like,
and you learn with the experiences, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, it's good that I did. I mean,
but you did that anyway, and
it worked.
how come it worked? How come people did risk and they came to the shop? How come you succeeded there and you ended up opening the few more franchise of those restaurants, right?
Yeah, it wasn't franchise. It was like just this. I mean, it was owned by us as well.
Oh, I mean, you opened a few more of those specific restaurants.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's.
It just went like people just.
I mean, it just worked. Yeah, okay. I mean, I didn't have that much marketing knowledge that time as well. I didn't have. I was starting low, and it was just my second year at the university. And I mean, it might be just a chance as well, but I wouldn't say like just chance too, because it's like we were very diligent on this, and like we were trying our best based on our limited knowledge. Okay, I mean, we would try our best to kind of advertise the restaurant, but like very very basic ways.
And when people told, like, did people ever come over to you and say like, you're not supposed to really sell fish?
No, they wouldn't say that. They wouldn't say that. Like most people would come and say, okay, summer and you sell fish, and we would say yes, and I mean, so it's no problem. It's a frozen fish, and they would say, what, frozen? You don't sell fresh fish? I mean, it was. We would say, actually, frozen is is like fresh as well, because it's frozen.
Exactly.
And after that, okay, I mean, most of the people were kind of doubtful. I mean,
in doubt,
and they would still try, because that was very interesting for them. I mean, and because like I would say 70% of Azerbaijan went to Turkey and probably ate that.
Okay.
They already knew what that is, and there were like enough people missing that, and it was an opportunity for them to eat and to taste
and to get the exactly same nostalgic taste of the.
Actually, it wasn't exactly. It was totally different taste. Ours like totally different recipe, but still, I mean,
tasted good.
Yeah, I would say ours tasted better.
It tasted good.
Anyway,
that's why it went successful, and you ended up opening a few more.
The most important thing that made it successful was our churn rate was very small. I mean, people who came once and would come again. I mean, most of the people. That's why. I mean, they would actually really like it. I mean, so of course it's not just our effort as well. It was the effort of our chef as well. I mean, like everyone.
Exactly. I know the guy. Hi to Afghan there.
I'm actually like he's one of my best friends at the moment. He was just my employee that time, the chef.
Fair play. Well, you succeeded there.
And then from September, it went like way better, and we had like enough money to invest in other restaurants, and we opened in too many places, two different places as well.
But the main success of that business, Fuad, was the fact that it was obviously in a very very good area in the city center where there's so many people, right? And also the fact that you brought something similar from there, something that gave some kind of reference. You changed like the recipe, but because the product was good and feedback of people was good, and those loyal customers were coming back, and they probably like spreaded that message across their friends.
They would. Yeah, exactly. One of the things is that, as you said, like most people already knew that there's something like this, and also it wasn't like in the one of the busiest streets, but it was in the one of the busiest places, because 4 universities were around it. University and students, I mean, would come a lot and buy, and they were like a really there were too many, I mean, workplaces as well there. Yeah, and the thing is, we actually changed the taste, changed the recipe, because we wanted to make it more, I'd say, relevant to our the taste of our people, and because like I would say like taste of people changing depending on the nation, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we did it, and it was successful as well. I mean, like everything had a part on this, and of course the place were selected well, and then the taste was. I mean, the recipe was good, and so people, I mean, would come back again.
Yeah, spread the word of mouth, right?
And one of the most crucial factors was that people would tag themselves in the restaurant, saying that I'm eating balakek in Baku. It was kind of they were showing off with this, and
exactly.
it was actually made
and that's another way of spreading the word in digital.
Exactly.
In the digital world, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the key at the moment, especially in the food and beverage industry, of people taking pictures and tagging the restaurant where they're eating. But they should enjoy either the design and the food and the experience they're having to share that.
Yeah, but we also had I mean that times in Azerbaijan Facebook wouldn't be used for businesses that much as it's now. But we started using it as for business that time because we didn't have that much budget to spend like in
anything else.
We made both. The paid ads as well, and at the same time for like tagging we would make promotion for people and saying like if you tag in your Facebook we would like do I don't remember how much.
That's a nice practical advice,
something like that. And I mean they would not all the people.
So do you ask people to kind of potentially tag that you'd give them potential discounts then as well?
Yeah, exactly, something like that. And I mean, it just made this word spread out. And then when we opened like in the very, very central district in Baku, and also Boulevard, which is very famous places, it also made kind of.
I think paying for people to tag your restaurant or location, that's something extremely underpriced. I don't think that many people are doing it. They spend their money on advertising, etc. I think that specific tactic is very underpriced. I think it worked to some people maybe used it
for us.
And I think it definitely works. It's free, not free marketing, but it's actually an actual marketing of person. If you enjoyed it, I would appreciate if you just tag this place and your experience so that your friends and family would see it.
Exactly, and it's the best part of it is that you don't pay before for your advertising. I mean, you pay from your potential profit. It's the best part of it. And when saying paying for that, it's not paying.
Really paying.
You just make the discount, and he also enjoys customer also enjoys it, and
that's very smart. Very smart. No, that's perfect. And Fuad, so from there on, you had your business in Azerbaijan. Then you ended up closing it due to specific reasons, right? And then you had a situation in your life where you decided to move to Ireland to study, to do your master's degree, right?
Exactly.
And then were you working at the same time, or when you started doing your business, and what kind of, because obviously when you come into Ireland it's completely different culture, and any other foreigners, when they come to different country, it's different cultures, different environment. They need to adapt, they need to overcome some obstacles that they never experienced before. And how it was for you when you came to Ireland?
When I came to Ireland, it was actually pretty hard for me to I would say to understand the culture and to understand the psychology of people, and I mean the social psychology of the people around me. And I mean it was hard for me because like even the sense of humor is different here, you know what I mean? So that's why it was hard to pass. But like when you came, what type of Irish people did you saw first? Was it in college or was it on the street? No,
in college?
Of course, in college. We were like 42 people and in the class, and 40 of them were Irish actually. So
straight away you were amongst like really specific Irish group of people, all right?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, to actually played a huge role to make me adapt that time, and after. I mean, I wouldn't say like it took just a few months or something. It took years to really adapt. And while I was in the process of adaptation, I was only thinking of going back to my country because like it was kind of pissing me off.
It was so unusual for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like I was thinking like if I didn't study school. High school here.
There's no point.
I mean, I will never
adapt
100%. That was my point. And now I think
Or
differently.
was your belief, you know?
Belief. It was my belief. Yeah. Now I think differently. I understand that I shouldn't 100% adapt anyway. It's different still. But like one of the biggest things in Ireland that I learned, Ruslan, was that when I was back in Azerbaijan, I was thinking about business as something local, and I was thinking that when I start something, I should start in that place, and my customers should be in that place, you know. And here in Ireland, when I started my startup here in Ireland, I started to understand actually. I mean, that feeling or that belief of localization is just limiting our mind, you know, it's limiting our thoughts. And it's a globalization age now, and actually you don't need to start your business inside. I mean, if you're established you have to establish in some place, but you don't need to target the same place that you are in. And this is that was a turning point for me, and I understood that okay, even if I were in Azerbaijan or it doesn't matter if I'm here or I was in Bangladesh, doesn't matter. So I would still start the same business because it's digital. You know what I mean? That was like very important things that I learned in Ireland. I mean, maybe you can.
Well, that was because your approach changed, and the next thing for you it was to start a digital business.
Yeah, you actually know this story when we started the Deluxe Days, and we were targeting the local.
And that just to give a quick meaning for the Deluxe Days was a online retail shop, right?
I wouldn't say like exactly like that. It was like. Providing deals from luxury brands in people's special occasions like birthdays. And
exactly. I just didn't want to go in that kind of description of it. I was just want to give you a too simplistic way.
In that time, when I was doing it, I was targeting the local shops in like Brown Thomas, Arnold's, and these shops locally, and then I like after a few months I understood that actually the place of doing this business specifically isn't the island, you know. But I'm already in Ireland. I set up it in Ireland, and we had to change the direction of the business, and we changed it to totally different direction. And that was, I mean, in that case, there was nothing dependent on Ireland, and it was, I mean, the customers, shops were in UK, in the US, in Canada, and the customers were around the world as well. At that time, I understood. Okay, actually, I mean, the first question was about what I'm doing here, you know. But and I understood that actually it's not important where you are, but it is important what you do and where you target.
Exactly.
Anyway, it was off topic, but
no.
That was one of the obstacles. I mean, I had to.
Of course, and you have to experience that in order to realize that. That's so different from where you started in Azerbaijan, and your thought process changed when you moved here, and you realized that when you like you were doing you were based in the enterprise, well, you're still based there, right? And then King's Enterprise Center, and you probably like started experiencing so many other businesses around as well that most of them probably digital, that they also operate. They're like headquarters based in Russia, but they operate like around the world, right?
True. I saw so many of them there as well.
And tell me this, Fuad, though, how kind of challenges did you experience in terms of communicating with people as well? Like, because in different business, in different people, somewhere you can feel comfortable, somewhere you can't feel comfortable anymore, because you have to change your approach of communicating with people, or in order to complete some kind of business, you need to either learn or experience something new.
True. Regarding the communication with people, because it's not my first language. English wasn't my first language. This was the main barrier actually for me. And even if I knew that I would explain my thoughts easily, that was, I mean, I had kind of complexes. I don't know how to say that. I had like barriers in my mind that in case I don't say them in right word, or they don't do the right joke in right place, or goes. And you know what I mean? Like different things. Like this was in communication. Of course, there was a problem. It actually was really hard. I mean, you saw those processes. Like I was very how to say shy to call someone, to call some businesses as well, because I was thinking, okay, so they would know that I'm not native speaker,
exactly,
and I would think like, okay, this is something, you know, that they would kind of
put them down straight away against you.
Exactly. And this was one of the biggest obstacles for me, I would say, in communication. And what later on,
you kind of adopted,
I adopted. I saw that it's not a big issue.
And from watching you, I saw you working hard on yourself, trying to influence you to adopt more and more, trying to practice on so many things. You also read specific books on communication and negotiation and on calling as well, etc. And that all helps, you know.
Actually, your help was a huge in that time as well, because. You are. I mean, I don't know if you are. how they know about you, but like you are a very successful.
Yeah, I'm pretty transparent, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's why. I mean, I actually asked Ruslan that time to help me to
some of the sales calls.
Do the sales calls near me, besides me, so I can see and kind of adapt and see like how it works, etc.
And you know, funny what it was for me, because even though probably everyone's like this. Let's say if you are afraid of spider, right? But there's someone next to you is even more afraid of spiders, automatically you have the psychology, oh, he's even more afraid of spiders, but let me like protect him from the spider, and you just go and try to catch that spider and throw him away or something like that. And so for me it was the same case as well. Like, you know, I felt like in that specific point I felt like a bigger brother for Fuad, even though Fuad has a way bigger experience than I in the whole entrepreneurship and in business, because he's done so many projects and everything, and I was gaining so much from him all the time,
and I gained so much from you as well.
And I felt good that, you know, I could provide him something like at least where he can listen to me as well and listen to my calls. I felt good in that point of view as well. But Fuad, I know that you obviously, you know, you became better and better working in your I call it online retail because I don't want to go specifics, but it was not really that. There was some specific reasons that actually some specific idea behind it that didn't exist anywhere, but that's why it was special. That's why it was one of the highest startups here in Dublin and in general. And you were working on that, and there was a point where you had such big obstacles where you almost went into depression, right? And I think so many businessmen and business people, they go into the really difficult situations when there's a really big rocks that you can overcome or you can push from the way, and you know, that puts you in a really bad state. You're thinking like, you know, I wasted so much time. I could have just do my 9 to 5 and have a stable job. I don't like. I know from your perspective as well. You didn't have spent. You were married for a long time ago, and you didn't get a chance to spend the time with your wife at home or with your family. You're just constantly working all day, improving yourself and becoming better and better. But there were situations of where you were going through the depression. Now, when you're thinking back, how were you dealing with those situations, and how can, like, you know, just what would be your life tip to kind of overcome those kind of situations, or shouldn't you maybe overcome those, or if you going back to the previous point, should you overcome those? Like, what should you do in those type of situations when you go into really dark moments when it doesn't go anywhere?
Okay.
And I know, like, from there on, I will move. Like, the next point is going to move into the fact that from there on, there was a way where you moved into even from a little bit different direction, like where you started storytelling and you became like one of the successful YouTubers at the moment. So you can even lead that there yourself as well.
There were lots of situations that I was kind of thinking, so it's the end, you know. But you know, I already got used to that, Razza. That's why I know, like, when I feel it's the end, at the same time I know that tomorrow will be a new day, and like maybe I see new chances, new opportunities.
There's going to be sunshine at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, exactly. And at the same time, you know, like when you are under pressure, you think better, and when you already see that, okay, you are at the end of the road, you feel that you're at the end of the road.
Okay.
At that point, you start actually creating or generating more ideas to overcome the situations. Like in all cases, when I was in depression, I would say, I mean, actually this is very, very strange, but what I observed is that when I was in depression and I was thinking like it's the end of the road, and also I realized that I was sleep deprived those times. Okay. It was also not only like because of the problems, it was also biological something as well, you know what I mean? So I saw that and realized that, okay.
But you were sleep deprived specifically because you were working.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually realized that when I'm not sleep deprived and when I'm like do meditate and do exercise and these things are always. If I do it like constantly, okay.
Yeah. You knew about meditation, but there were moments when you were in depression, you kind of forgot and slipped away the meditation and exercising.
So many times, of course, yeah. So I know that if I do it constantly, I never feel like that I'm at the end of the road, like because for feeling that way, you need to be very anxious and very depressed, very stressed. You know what I mean? Like if you're not stressed, if you're exercising, meditating, and sleeping well, this is my 3 main things, and you never feel that much depression, and that's why you generate solutions as well. From my belief in life is that there is no problem without solution. Okay, so whenever there is a very, very huge problem that I need to overcome, I actually think. In that case, I think and make myself to trust, to believe that. So the bigger the problem, the bigger the chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if I solve the problem, my competitors or other people wouldn't be able to solve this difficult problem as well, and then it would be my chance. I mean,
that's a great way of thinking about it, like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's something that I believe, and that's why this is my kind of mindset, how my mindset works, and that's what all entrepreneurs have this kind of depression times, like procrastinating and being lazy, hating yourself, and seeing that you are kind of like shit, you know.
You don't work anything.
You don't work, and you don't spend time with your family, and you don't. They don't already need the person who don't care that much that should for the family. And all people feel these ways, these things, and so I also had these times. And regarding the storytelling, and these things always, these things that I always try to overcome were the stories that I'm telling in my YouTube channels at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's why, because they're realistic, and it's because they're not made up. They're successful. You know what I mean? Because people can.
And you share your vulnerabilities in those.
Yeah, exactly. I share my vulnerability as well. Like in my channels, I do summaries of the books as well, but it's
so
not
you do
only
just to go back quickly to it. You do you have Azerbaijani channel called Zihenix, then you have a Turkish channel Zihenix, it's similar. Then you have Russian one as well called Opet X. And now you have an English one. You're just about to start it, Experience X.
Yeah, English one, Experience X. There's a Spanish one, Sabio X.
Oh, Sabio X.
But they're not successful yet. I mean.
You're just starting them now.
We're starting it now. Yeah, I'm telling the stories that actually I had myself. That's why people feeling empathy, and because the problems most times are same or similar in all people, you know, and people think that it's very special to them, but it's not special to them actually. Like if you're procrastinating and you're trying to kind of beat procrastination, you try like the different ways, and you kind of come up with an idea to beat the procrastination and think, okay, so this is the thing that you created and you invented, but actually thousands and millions of people already do it.
Exactly, and that's what
exactly. When you, for example, I tell the story and say, okay, I tried to beat my procrastination with this and that method, and so people say, oh, okay, I'm doing this as well, and they're sharing it because it
works for them as well when they try it.
And that makes it successful as well. I mean,
and how many so Fuad, you started with Azerbaijani one, right? And then you start with Russian, and then how many, what there gave you like confidence that actually this works well? Is it the feedback of people, like as you're saying, they started sharing their stories that actually it helps, etc. Is that gave you the confidence that this is actually something works for me, great, and I should continue this, like the storytelling, summarizing the books, giving your own thoughts on the experiences that you're going through, works, and you're just going to pursue that.
Yeah. When I started in Azerbaijan, I wasn't thinking of doing it in other countries. Yeah. It wasn't in the plan. Okay. The idea I took from the channel called Fight Mediocrity, which is in English.
Okay.
I
love the guy. Yeah.
This channel is very, very good channel actually, and he was doing book summaries as well in the same format. And because I had animation business as well, and I knew like
Fight Mediocrity, you have to come back, by the way. Yeah, go ahead.
And I knew like how it's made. It was like a very simple animation done with a program called Video Skype. Yeah. So that's why I thought, okay, why shouldn't I do it? I'm reading the books as well, and I'm doing this, and I have experience as well. So I should share my experience as well, and do the same thing in Azerbaijan. And in Azerbaijan, there wasn't like that many channels in this sphere, space. That's why I started. But later on, based on the feedback that people were giving, like from Turkish people as well, they were saying that these stories actually are not just in the level of, small country of Azerbaijan, and so you should actually share it in other languages as well. Yeah. They were asking me to translate, and I thought, okay, why not to translate actually? Let's do it. And I started Turkish one. And then at the same time talk with another guy called Mishfik, who's my friend as well, like who's a Russian speaker. Yeah.
For some reason I thought you started your Russian one earlier than Turkish one, no?
No.
Okay.
First was Turkish and then Russian.
Okay.
But Russian, went
viral. All right. It started faster. Became trending, right?
I think exactly. Grew faster. And so we started in Russian as well, and from it was already like 3-4 videos. So I was thinking, okay, there were some views already, but there weren't like that many views that I would say, okay, it's successful there. But once there was just one video in Russia, just skyrocketed and
brought the popularity to other
exactly.
As well,
and it got like 1.7 million views. And that time, after that time, so we understood, okay, so it's actually something that it
meaningful
applies to all. It doesn't have nation. You know what I mean? It applies to every country and every space. And before I was when I started the channel, in the first 3-4 videos, I was under the influence of the channel that I took the inspiration from, the Fight Mediocrity. But later on, it's actually the same thing in all other things as well. Later on, I developed my own style and started doing writing the contents, not from books as well, just myself,
from your experience as well,
my experience, etc. And so that it also works well and sometimes even better. Just continued with that way. And it's like, when you, for example, sing a song of some famous singer, you want to copy and you want to
it gives you an
later
idea.
on you create your own style of singing. It's the same thing here.
Exactly, and that's the way everything starts. You get influenced, you get inspired, and you start making your own one, which is at the start is under the influence, and then you continue. And while you continue, because you're unique as a human being yourself, you start developing your own style and pursuing that one.
And also I would say the one of the things that made it successful wasn't just the topics that I was using and the stories. Actually, the feeling of the patriotic feeling to my country made the contents. Stronger for in a social spectrum.
Okay.
So it actually when you watch the videos, you feel that this person, in this case myself, is trying to affect the society.
Okay.
It's not just a YouTube channel, and because it has the soul inside, and when we applied the same contents and we translated the same contents, applied the same tax strategy to other countries, it actually created the same effect. For example, in Russia, I mean, so many Russian actually viewers of the Russian channel go to my Turkish channel and write a comment that you stole the idea from Russian channel. It's our nations.
Exactly.
They also have like that patriotic feeling that say, the feeling that okay, this guy actually tries for Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, tries best to helps Russia.
Yeah.
And in Turkey, they
feel like
they helps Turkey. Actually, I'm helping
this is
the country, the society in general, the world. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and it's funny the way they feel like this is actually stolen from one channel to different channel. And then I saw your comment multiple times on each single page, like, guys, this is me who's doing all of these videos. They're not stolen from each other's, so stop sending me these messages, etc. And that's really funny because they just don't get it that this is the same guy doing it. Anyway, that's funny. That's funny to observe and to experience.
Funny, yeah, actually, it's. I mean, although it's all are my channels, it actually sometimes irritates me because like I'm kind of they think of me as a thief, you know. I'm actually stealing something from my own.
They think as a thief, like you are stealing something from yourself. Thank you very much to my guest Fuad, one of my best friends. Guys, if you enjoyed this, I know this was a little bit maybe a longer podcast than previous ones, but I think you got nice insights. And if you enjoyed this, then feel free to subscribe. Whatever you listen to, iTunes, SoundCloud, or maybe I'm going to upload this on the Anchor as well. And if you would like to watch the YouTube or video version of us talking, you can do it by typing #DOERSTALK and watch it on YouTube. And if you can leave any type of review, if you have any thoughts of this, would be really appreciated too, as it gives a nice kind of feedback as well. That's it, guys. Thank you very much for joining in. And I will see you.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. I will see you next time. Peace out.
On my grind all day, gonna make $1 million, son, that someday. You know I'm in the building when I write this way. Put me in the ground when I bite this game. Bitch, I'm an animal. Eating these rappers, I swear I'm a cannibal. About to fulfill my